I am going to do a quick video, she says quick, on the thyroid. Know anybody who's got thyroid issues? Know anybody who's on thyroxine? Know anybody who's on natural desiccated thyroid or armour thyroid? Any of the above? Okay, let's start. When you have a blood test done for the thyroid, okay, now, by the way, the thyroid doesn't work on its own, but I'm just going to stay focused in a very allopathic way for right now, so just bear with me. You want TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, free T4, free, total T4, free T3, total T3. That's the minimum that you want if you're checking your thyroid health. Okay, bonus, reverse T3, and then actually these shouldn't be bonuses, your antibodies to the thyroid, okay, to the enzymes in the thyroglobulin antibody. So let's go through that again. TSH, total T4, free T4, total T3, free T3, your two antibodies, and a bonus is your reverse T3. So I'm going to go through what they are. Okay, now TSH is called thyroid stimulating hormone, or it stands for thyroid stimulating hormone, which is produced by the brain. It's not a thyroid hormone. Okay, thyroid is there. The thyroid hormone is T4 and T3. T4, 4 iodines, becomes T3, 3 iodines. In other words, 1 iodine is removed, and that T3 is the active form of your thyroid hormone. Most people, men or women, I mainly see women with thyroid issues, take T4. T4 is your inactive form of the thyroid hormone. So you are then relying on that T4 to be converted to T3 by your body. Most of the T4 is converted to T3 in your liver, your gut, and your kidneys. Okay, so important. So when we're looking at thyroid health, we're also addressing liver, gut, and kidney health. Okay, now what's the difference between free T4 and total T4? Total T4 is the overall amount of T4 you make. That's the bound form, because hormones are transported in a vehicle like a bus. It's bound. If they're not bound, they are free. So total means the bound and free, and then you've got your free T4, because you want to know how much overall T4 do you produce. Overall, does your thyroid produce enough T4? And you also then want to know, of that, how much is free? Okay, how much is actually then being converted to T3? Now, that's why you want to know your T3. And then your antibodies, because if you've got antibodies, then it's more of an autoimmune condition. Majority of underactive thyroid issues are autoimmune. Majority, not all of them, but majority. So you always want to check that as well. Ask your doctor. If doctor doesn't do it, write your MP, get it done. Really important, because what is happening as women who are on thyroxine, T4, they start going through peri-menopause, their thyroid symptoms just kind of flare up. Weight gain, they're doing everything, they cut down on the calories, do exercise, doing all of that stuff, and suddenly it's nothing shifting. Their skin is more dry, their hair is falling out, hair is thinning, etc. This is usually a thyroid issue. Yes, there's progesterone is going down, estrogen is going down, they're all tied together, but they're all tied together. I call it the triad. You've got the HPO axis, the ovaries, the gonadal system, the thyroid system, and the adrenal system. So the thyroid never works on its own, but this is specifically focused on the thyroid, just so you get the right blood test done and you know what you're doing. Okay, so those are the blood tests you want to do. Okay, and then there's a nutritional therapist. And what I absolutely believe in is, if you're on thyroid medication, it doesn't mean job is done. The thyroid medication is going to do the job for you. You still have to look after your gut, you still have to look after your liver and your kidneys, etc. So how do you eat? Where do you eat? What do you eat? Your environment is really important. Now, there's another marker which doesn't get tests on the NHS, and they'll look at you like you're barking mad if you ask for it, is reverse T3. Reverse T3 is, again, that T4 that gets converted to now T3, but that iodine is removed from a different place, whereas for the other T3, it was removed from this finger on the T3. On the reverse T3, it's removed from this finger, okay? Which means, and that reverse T3 basically is an indication that either you're on too much T4, thyroxine, for example. So you know those women who are then, their doctor just increases their thyroid medication, they go back and they increase it more. And nobody's addressing, is there an issue with reverse T3? Is there an issue with converting T4 to even T3? So if your reverse T3 is high, it's usually because an inflammation, stress, so your HPA axis, nervous system, all of that is saying to your body, you are not safe. So let's not produce T3, because I really don't care about hair growth. We don't care about fertility. We don't care about body temperature. I'm in self-preservation mode. Okay, so you want to address lifestyle, your relationships, your eating habits, the whole lot. Okay, so that is, and I'm just going to summarize, thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH, T4, free T4, total T4, T3, free T3, total T3, your 2 antibodies, and then reverse T3 if possible. Now, this is just the thyroid. We haven't even addressed the gut. We haven't even addressed the liver. We haven't even addressed the kidneys, for example. Okay, so when you next take your thyroid medication, or when you next hear about, oh, you've been diagnosed with an underactive thyroid, or even if you've had your thyroid removed and you've been put on just T4, it usually is not good enough, because converting T4 to T3 involves energy and time. That enzyme that takes off that iodine from your T4 to make it T3 needs nutrients. It needs iron. It needs zinc. It needs selenium. We need all these nutrients for the body to convert the T4 to T3, but also what can make that enzyme miserable, in inverted commas, toxic elements, toxic metals like mercury, aluminium, other your pesticides, your plastics. So if you're heating up food in the microwave in plastic containers, you're not helping that conversion. You're not helping that enzyme. So other stuff is, so for example, you've got a leaky gut. You're getting inflammation through leaky gut because you've got dysbiosis, or you've got low stomach acid. You're not absorbing your minerals to help that enzyme to make the conversion. There are so many factors that affect how your thyroid is actually making the T4, then other parts of the body converting it to T3, and then that T3 has to be received by the receptor. Now, in order for it to be received by the receptor and heard, we need vitamin D and we need vitamin A. And I'm talking about vitamin A as in retinol form, not the beta carotene form. And majority of people have an issue with converting your vitamin, your vegan form of vitamin A, or vegetarian form like beta carotene, into your retinol form. So there's a whole load of other systems in the body that are important in your thyroid health. Okay, and this is what we call a systems biology approach. And I do not look at the body, I do not teach the students at the New School of Nutritional Medicine to look at the body in isolation. When somebody comes to see you see me with a thyroid issue, I'm looking at the whole person. And that person might have an underactive thyroid because they went and had all their mercury fillings removed and didn't do the special way of removing the mercury. For example, somebody else might have an underactive thyroid because they have a leaky gut and they've got an infection in their gut, and it might not be very obvious. You don't have to have all the gut symptoms, and that might be affecting it. Then there's other blood tests that you can look at on the NHS for free, is something like CRP, which is your C-reactive protein. So we are detectives, we are health detectives. So there is no protocol. So when you DM me, when you message me asking, what do you do? It's not about what do you do. It's about what's your story? What are all your other systems like? What's your gut health like? What's your liver health like? What's your kidney health like? Do you have a gallbladder? So many questions that we need to ask. I need to know your history. I need to know where you've come from to where, how have you got to where you are today. It's not just a simple protocol. It's not just a simple take thyroid glandular or take iodine, sea kelp, etc. I hope that makes sense and this has been helpful. Please save the video, share the video, tag a friend, because a number of women especially that are becoming diagnosed with underactive thyroid through the perimenopause, it is just ridiculous. So let's stop this, let's prevent it, let's get healthy, let's share information.